Thank you for the opportunity to share our research of greenery factors for cooler park connector in Singapore. My name is Yoon Hye. The study was granted by National University of Singapore and Minister of Education as an academic research project from 2010 to 2011 for a year. The first slide shows the agenda of the presentation. The motivation and background of the research will be explained in the next couple of slides. The observational methodologies, including site selection, measurement, and mapping process will come after. There are three main findings which we would like to share as a main factor to decide micro temperature in a park connector, and then will be followed by discussion and conclusion. Many studies on the urban heat island effect have demonstrated that there is the considerable temperature differences between urban and rural areas. The images show that vegetation works as one of the most important factors to offset urban heat in the urban area. As you can see, the Singapore regards one of the most representative cities which clearly see the urban heat island effect. The percentage of the green coverage of city has been increased under the Garden City initiative since 1970s in Singapore. However, the quantity of the green surface doesn't literally relate to the quality of the greenery, such as human comfort in a green space. So it is our hope that the study on canopy coverage contributes to enhance the quality of the landscape in a tropical country in an effective way. The image is a typical park connector in Singapore, which has enough green surface but still looks extremely hot. The park connector links with major parks and other residential amenities over the city. They work as a part of an extensive green network to optimize the usage of the limited land resources. A total of 150 kilometer length of the park connectors has been built till date, and there is a plan to expand to 300 kilometer by year 2015. The majority of the park connectors follow a single basic typology, which consists of the 4-meter wide asphalt footpath and 2-meter wide planting strip without any customized consideration of their special quality, as shown in the previous slide. Park connectors should particularly ensure pedestrian thermal comfort, since majority of the pedestrians in park connectors have used them as a transit. 8 park connectors are chosen in this study, which are representative of different types of the typical park connectors by its different orientation and location. Approximately 2 to 3 kilometers of each park connector has been observed for an hour on a hot sunny day between 2 to 4 p.m. Handheld microclimatic has been selected as a main measurement of this research, since the ambient temperature provides relatively accurate data related to the psychological temperature. Humidity and wind velocity are vary, so that those factors may not provide objective data. Hence, the research focuses more on the variation of temperature rather than humidity or wind speed. General conditions such as surrounding land use, spatial structure, tree spacing, leaf density, and the pavement were monitored. This table shows the detailed information of the surveyed park connectors, its location features, vegetation types, and design element, and date and time. The micro and ambient temperature is considerably different from the official temperature by Singapore Weather Information portal site. The hottest temperature of the number 6, which is Galang Bishan Park connector on site, for example, was 38 Celsius, whereas the daily maximum temperature by daily official weather was 31 Celsius on the same date and the same time. Even though the official weather condition in surveyed date is similarly hot within 33 Celsius to 31 Celsius, the maximum micro-ambient temperature of 8 park connectors has almost 5.2 degree differences between the hottest park connector and the coolest park connector. Most importantly, the micro temperature differences in Alexandra Park connector has a relatively homogeneous landscape, but it is more than 5 degree differences we can see. The Galang Bishan Park connector, the temperature differences between the coolest and the hottest point is almost 8.5 degree in a just 2 kilometer short distance promenade. To summarize, the micro temperature in park connector varies. So the research tried to find out the factors to make cool in the site. The factors could be roughly categorized into 3 points: location and orientation, a nodal point, and tree configuration. The main factor which caused 6 degree temperature differences between Coastal Park connector and Mandai Park connector comes from its location. Coastal Park connector, located along the east coast area, is cooler due to its wide open space with the seaside, whereas Mandai Park connector is located in the northern inland along a heavy traffic 6-lane road. The strong thermal radiation from the asphalt surface also caused the ambient temperature goes up. Looking at the Ulu Pandan Park connector case, the thermal images of canal sides and edge display an apparent temperature differences 5 degrees or more, since greenery banks in downstream that reduce thermal radiance, as you can see. The figure includes photos and the ambient temperature data of Siglap Park connector with the description of the adjacent land use which influence on cooler or hotter zone. Looking at the cooler zone, even a small green patch like a 0.2 hectare park provides the cooling effect. Cooler stable temperature below 33 Celsius is recorded in 40 to 60 meter wider green area. Infrastructure shade may also give its cooling effect. However, the area near small trees of proportional height with sufficient dense leaves provide more cooler area than the built-up area. We also found that the stretch from east to west of a park connector was average 3 degrees hotter than the stretch from the north to south of the same park connector due to the direct exposure to the sun. Each nodal point in the temperature graph of Alexandra Park connector is marked as a significant point, which makes temperature change by its special feature such as wide road junction and an opened resting area on a sheltered waiting area. As such, wherever a park connector meets with a nodal point, pedestrian would be aware of the changing level of the thermal comfort in some way. It can be argued that the nodal points of the park connector should be regarded as an important area to design, since they have great potential to enhance thermal comfort. The tree configuration is one of a distinctive factor to decide microtemperature in the park connector. Firstly, percentage of the shaded area on a path by canopy coverage and planted location cause temperature differences. As such, we need to ensure a certain sized crown, for example like 15-meter height and a 20-meter diameter crown, and nearer distance to the path. It provides a 2.4 degree lower shaded path area. Second, an enclosed stretch of a continuous hedge increase humidity and block the wind circulation so that it actually form a wind circulation barrier and negate the cooling effect. On the other hand, the air temperature of tree cluster with open lawn was observed to fell 1 degree lower because its openness allows wind to go through and mitigate humidity. Thirdly, the continuity of the vegetation patch will provide cooler connector regardless its leaf density. As the below figure shows, the gap in the canopy shade of about 3 to 5 meter makes the localized air temperature higher, although the leaves of the canopy are denser than above one. So we can argue that the continuity is more important factor to decide the microthermal comfort. To be concluded, the research begins with speculations about urban parks that could benefit from canopy coverage but tend to be overlooked. The temperature differences between non-shaded area and shaded area significantly vary, so that worth to study. The level of human comfort by perception defines its physical value and quality. Therefore, thermal comfort can play to work as an effective indicator to assess an urban park, especially in a tropical city. Although comfortable temperature and thermal perception are subjective, the accumulated record indicates that both the thermal comfort and the spatial quality by rich canopy coverage are in complementary relations. When the given budget limits the number of the trees of a park connector, we will need to arrange the tree in an effective way. I believe that this kind of the way of the research gonna be help to build up some guideline for that limited kind of the number of the tree. During the field observation, 3 main factors were found: ensuring the shaded area on the path by tree canopy with right location and orientation is necessary. Nodal points and the tree configuration should be carefully considered as well. So we would like to not conclude, rather leave the open-ended discussion, because shade is invisible. It is hard to build an assessment tool in a short time. Therefore, the only long-term empirical data through implementation project will give a convincing guideline at the end. The research was mainly focused on vegetative shade in this case, but other components in urban context will need to be explored in the next time for more comprehensive data. Finally, accumulated findings would work as a parameter for evaluating and designing urban greenery toward our ecological and social responsibility in the field of the landscape architecture. It is our hope. Thank you.